Hey there, and welcome back. How many people do you have coming to your website? How long are they staying on your website? What is the bounce rate of your home page? If you have analytics already set up on your website, especially Google Analytics, well, you either know them off the top of your head or you can quickly find those statistics. But if not, you really need to get analytics tracking set up for your website. The data that you get back will either tell you that your website is working for your business, or it will point you in the direction of things that you need to fix on your site. So today, let's talk about the need for analytics, how to get Google Analytics set up for your website, and some of the things that you can do with it to get some really good data. So in order for us to figure out if our website is working and helping our business, we need to first figure out how users are navigating and using our website. We need to see the number of people who are coming in, what pages they are going to, where they are coming from, and even how far down our sales funnel they're going. So we need some way to figure all of that out. And we do this through web analytics tracking. And before you start to really get concerned about privacy, and those are legitimate concerns by the way, don't worry, we're just focusing on anonymous data. We're just focused on the results and not really the who. And so we use something like Hotjar, Google Analytics, or some other software that's able to track that data for us and present it to us. From there, we can learn a lot about our web pages. We can figure out which pages are performing the best, which pages people are leaving the most, how much time people are spending on a particular page, and so much more. Getting analytics set up on your website opens up a window into how your website is performing, and it helps to guide you on what changes to make on which pages so that it helps your business even more. So why should you be using Google Analytics for all this? Well, the answer is that it's the standard bearer for web analytics tracking. It's been around for a long time now, and it's only gotten better with age. Also, Google Analytics is fairly easy to use, especially for beginners. There is some code that you'll probably have to place on your website, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But other than that, you can do almost anything inside of the user interface. With just a couple of clicks, you can see things like bounce rate and exit rate and conversion rate and so much more. Plus, you can hook it into Google Tag Manager to see more in-depth things like internal link clicking, scroll depth, and even YouTube video stats from your website. And you can hook it up with Google Optimize and Google Search Console. Simply put, Google Analytics is the analytics tool to use. Okay, so here we are. After you create an account on Google, or if you already have one and you log in, you should be able to see your account over here. And then for this, go into here, account, this is, all right, and then pick our reporting time, pick your time zone, create, and then it's created a property for us. And then what we need to do is add this into our header inside the HTML. Okay, so here we are. We're just going to drop it in. It's the WordPress theme, so drop it in basically right here, and we would hit save. We would upload the folder, whatnot, and then Google Analytics would pick that up, basically. So simple as that. It gets even more simple if you're using a WordPress website. Okay, so here I am on my website, and all we use is basically this Google Site Kit plugin. It's relatively new. It came out towards the end of 2019, but already it's grown and there's a lot of cool features. And one of the best things is that you can hook your analytics right into it. You can hook into analytics, Search Console, Page Speed Insight, Google Tag Manager. You don't have to worry about actually any code. So if you use a WordPress website, I highly recommend you install this plugin. And it's open sourced, and new features are coming out all the time. Okay, so once you've got your analytics all set up, we need to do something with what's called views. This is a view, and it's basically a view of all the data coming in that you specify. So really, when you first start out, you're going to just get this raw, sort of raw data view. This is bringing in everything that analytics is picking up Includes spam traffic, traffic that has different sort of URL parameters. Like Facebook likes to put up a parameter which causes some issues, especially if you're trying to look for page data. Technically creates different pages and whatnot, but we can filter that out through different views. And the standard practice with Google Analytics is to at least start off with 3 views. We start off with the raw data view, a master view, and a test view. And the reason we have a test view is that when data comes in, it can't be back edited, basically. It comes in as is and it stays that way. So when you install Google Analytics, you can't see data from before you installed Google Analytics. It's the same way with views. When you create a view, you can't see anything before that. So we have a test view that we use to test out different filters to make sure that it's showing what we want to see, and then from there we can create an actual view for that data that we want to see. So the first one that you'll want to create is the master view. And to create a view or edit a view, you come into the admin spot, and then view settings. And then this is all basically the same. Here you would put in query parameters that you would want to exclude. Like it's a Facebook link or something. That's a query parameter that you want to exclude as well. You want to filter out bots, obviously, for your master view and the other custom views that you create, because you don't want that data at all. And then, so that's simple. That's the master view, straightforward. And then you can do other things like, let's see what other view. I have a view for people viewing my website from inside the US. And for that, it's basically the same. So see the settings here are basically the same, except we go to filters and we have a country filter. It's custom, include basically anybody visiting from the United States. And there's a whole bunch of things that you can do here when you're defining filters for a view that you have. You can do campaigns, e-commerce. You can even get down to the city or events or any of that. So there's really a whole lot that you can do right here. And I highly encourage you to go through and just play around with it. Create that test view and then play around with the filters and all that stuff. Okay, so we're back here, and I'm just going to show you some of the stats that I like to look through that are meaningful to me. These are just basic ones. I have some other sort of custom Google tags set up. We'll save that for a different time. For now, obviously, page views is a big one. How many page views does it have? That's always sort of the first metric you look at. And then I like to look at sort of the average time on page and see which ones are getting the highest or being looked at the longest. This is a little bit disappointing. This is the home page, and it's only 53 seconds average time on page. And that's a problem. And that's something I'm covering in another series currently about how we're going through and using this data and some other data to figure out what needs to be fixed on the website or on the homepage, and then making those changes. And then we'll see, hopefully, those changes increase the average time on page, and also sort of the bounce rate and whatnot. And speaking of bounce rate, that's something I also like to look at. So basically, bounce rate is when someone comes to a web page and immediately leaves your website. So you see that page and go. And obviously they see something and they don't like it and they're not coming back. And that's the problem. And you really want to aim for under 10% bounce rate. These are a little bit higher than I would like. But they're also sort of tutorials where people come in, get what they need and go. And I've done that with other websites, so I kind of get it.
But yeah, the page view, the average time on page, and the bounce rate are the three biggest things that I like to look at right off the bat. Okay, so something else we can do is do sort of this advanced searching and filtering. So for that, you would hit advanced here, and I'm just gonna look for the home page to start with. And we want exactly matching. The slash is our home page, and we hit apply. And now we filtered out all the other pages. We just see the home page, and then we can add in a secondary dimension. We want to know sort of the source and the medium people got to our website. So we can see, usually you'll have like direct, organic, and referral, sort of the medium. So this is, get 8 page views from Google searches. Interestingly enough, got 3 page views from the Italian version of the WordPress.org website. And we also have a couple page views from Facebook. And you can go through different things. You can throw away sort of like the hour of the day and traffic type. And then you can do it for, you can add in other dimensions, and those sorts of things. You can check for bounce rates that are greater than 10. And now we can see sort of our difficult pages. So those sorts of things. So play around with the search and the filtering, and see what all you can find. And then finally, we can create custom reports that are sent to us either on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So for that, we come into custom reports. I don't have one right now, but we will. Start new custom report. Here we have a tab, and you can have multiple tabs for different metrics. Keep it the same. Add in filters. We're not going to do that. You can do there's a whole bunch there that you can do. You can filter out. I know I have other reports and other views that cover landing pages and blog posts that I have set up. But anyway, so here's our custom report. Just for data that I just picked randomly. And then we can save it. And then we can also share it. And this is where we can get it into our inbox. So I just send it to my email. We can pick once, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Landing pages, I like to do weekly, just a personal thing. The blog post monthly, so I only get a sort of month's view over it. I get more data, so I can make better decisions over what posts are working, what aren't, what needs to be better, and that sort of thing. Options for how long to send the report. And you can add in a message, especially if you're sharing it for somebody else or yourself. You just need to remind yourself that, hey, I created this report and it's now in my inbox. This is what I need to look at. And then the CAPTCHA, and then send, and you're good to go.
So there you have it. You're set with Google Analytics, and you can start seeing the data and figuring out if your website is working or if you need to start making changes so that it works better. If you're just starting out with analytics, I would wait about a month or so that you have a lot of really good data to base your decisions on. And I barely touched the surface of what Google Analytics can do. I placed a link to Google Analytics Learning website where you can watch videos on how to do more complicated things with your analytics data. But in the meantime, do you have any questions about Google Analytics? If so, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. And if you want to see more videos about analytics, digital marketing, or other website related topics, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time.